So today is April 12th and the year is 2020. I've been in Morocco for 3 months and I've been under quarantine for 3 weeks. I arrived in Morocco by airplane after crossing the Atlantic Ocean from the United States. Visa-free travel from the US to Morocco is possible for up to 90 days, but that time is now past. I live here now, indefinitely. Things started off according to plan. I worked various jobs in the months leading up to the trip. Gardening, landscaping, harvesting blueberries, harvesting marijuana, construction, and catching fish. I also got to spend some time with family and organize or get rid of all my material things. It was the kind of new beginning I had dreamed of. I'd given myself a chunk of time to focus on my artistic endeavors, make connections, and keep my expenses low. When I first arrived in Morocco, I spent a few weeks in Agadir with my friend Anwar and his family. I have some videos about that already on my channel, so I'm going to pick up with what happened next. So at the end of January, I took a 5-hour bus ride east across the Atlas Mountains to Ouarzazate, a desert city that is the center for cinema for Morocco. Then I got a hotel room near the bus station for about $15 a night. And after getting my things settled, I took a walk around the city to see what I could find. There was a fantastic concert that night in front of the biggest castle in town, Caspar Tariot. The next day I checked out a few apartments, and the day after that I moved into this apartment where I live now in the Tichka neighborhood of Ouarzazate, and it's sort of on the older side of the city. It's where I've been ever since. Right away I realized Ouarzazate is a really nice place to live. So the next day I took a walk down to the lake. It's about 5 kilometers following the river down to the lake. Got to see some farming and shepherding on this walk, and that was really nice to get an idea for the local food production that's happening right around the city. All the vegetables that I buy, for example, are grown right along the river. On the way back from the lake, I met a girl from Bordeaux, and she invited me to go on a taxi ride with her and some other new friends to Eight Panhedo the following day. So on February 2nd, I was wandering around this old hilltop city about 10 kilometers from Ouarzazate. Eight Panhedo has been the location for many major films, and it's not hard to see why. From there, we walked about 6 kilometers to a small town called Tamadakt, where I encountered a particularly photogenic donkey. The following day, I went with my new friends from France to the Fint Oasis. Fint is only about 10 kilometers south of Ouarzazate, but the road there is very rough. We wandered around Fint for hours, enjoying the solitude, the nature, and had a meal at one of the local restaurants. The next day, my new friends left for Marrakesh, and the reality that I was living in a city where I knew almost no one and none of the language started to set in. For the next few weeks, I focused on meeting people, getting to know the city, and learning some of the language, which is Moroccan Arabic known as Darija. Eventually, I went on a few more long walks to the lake and met a few more interesting people. This led to a couple more YouTube videos and a bit more of a social life. I was also spending a lot of time at a local cafe to alleviate my Wi-Fi issues, and this led to a few more connections, and eventually I found myself making music videos. The first was with my friends Walid and Redwan with help from my friend Hamid Frist.
خيرك انت اللي تفهمي وحدك انت اللي تسمعي حسادة ما لا بالي والشيرة جامي ما بلا إلا صبر تعرفني تشالف فراس الدرب حان الراس وراني باقي تشالف درنا فيه بليزير طلعوا زيرو بيزار كنغلطو بزاف وباقي العيشة بيزار.
It was a nice opportunity for me and also a good chance to start working in video, working around the language barrier. I realized I wasn't always going to know what the plan was, but my job was just to adapt as quickly as possible and try to help make the best video possible in the process. The next music video that I got to shoot and edit was for my friend Hamid, and he's really talented and really fun to work with. And he's helped me a lot in the last month or so, especially since the virus. Then we started to have some meetings, and there was the beginnings of an association to make music videos here in Ouarzazate. And on the side, I had been going to casting calls and in contact with a lot of the major casting agents around the country. A couple of possibilities looked promising, and for all intents and purposes, the goals of my trip seemed to be appearing on the horizon. But something else was on the horizon, something that was spreading towards me and everyone across the globe. This was the coronavirus. Now everything has changed. But to continue to adapt as times change, I'm going to be making a series of videos about my life here living in Morocco, which will be under quarantine for a while. This is the first episode, and I have another one on the way. So if you like this video, feel free to subscribe if you want to follow the story. Also, liking and commenting will help the video get more views, and that will help support me. So thank you for watching, and I hope you stay safe and stay home if you have a home. And homelessness is also a really big problem. So if you have access to empty housing units that could be, or hotels, that could be opened up to homeless people, get on that, because this is not a good time for people to be living outside. And there never was a good time for that anyway, so help out your neighbor. Thanks for watching.